more than a year, the money barely moved. Millions of dollars sat quietly on-chain. No exchange deposits, no large swaps, no attempts to cash out, just silence. Then without warning, the wallets came back to life.
Welcome to Chain CSI.
On April 30th, 2026, approximately $13.5 million worth of Ethereum began moving into Tornado Cash. They were connected to one of the most wanted fugitives in crypto, a man accused of stealing approximately $65 million from two decentralized finance protocols, and who had somehow evaded authorities across multiple countries. A mathematical prodigy turned international fugitive. His name was Unmasking Medjedovic. Most crypto hacks follow a familiar pattern. Someone discovers a vulnerability, steals the funds, launders the money, disappears. But this case was different because Andean didn't allegedly exploit just one protocol. He did it twice, 2 years apart, two completely different protocols, two completely different smart contract architectures. Yet investigators would eventually conclude that both attacks shared something remarkably similar. Not the wallets, not the code, not even the victims. They shared the same mathematical fingerprint. And even more surprising, Andean never claimed someone else hacked the protocols. His defense centered on a very different idea. If the protocol allowed it, then he simply played by its rules. That philosophy has become one of the most controversial debates in the history of decentralized finance. Was this theft? Or was it simply code behaving exactly as it was written? Because long before the FBI, long before international arrest warrants, and long before millions disappeared from DeFi, there was simply a teenager who happened to be exceptionally good at mathematics. Long before his name appeared in court documents or on blockchain investigation reports. Unmasking Medjedovic was known for something entirely different: mathematics. Born in Canada to a Bosnian family, Andean wasn't an ordinary student. While most teenagers were still figuring out what they wanted to do after high school, he had already finished it. At just 14 years old, his academic journey only accelerated from there. He enrolled at the University of Waterloo, one of Canada's most respected institutions for mathematics and computer science. It's the same university that produced Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin. He completed his undergraduate degree in pure mathematics in just 3 years, before earning a master's degree while still in his teens. To those around him, he wasn't known as a hacker, he was known as a mathematician. So how does a teenage math prodigy end up accused of stealing tens of millions of dollars from decentralized finance protocols? The answer lies in a world where mathematics isn't just studied, it's enforced. Decentralized finance replaced financial institutions with smart contracts. Instead of trusting people, users trusted code. If the code allowed something, the blockchain executed it. No exceptions, no human intervention. For someone like Andean, that may have represented something else entirely. A system where every rule, every assumption, every equation could be studied, tested, and perhaps broken. And in 2021, one protocol would discover what happens when someone understands those rules better than the people who created them. By late 2021, decentralized finance was booming. Billions of dollars had poured into protocols promising a financial system without banks, without brokers, and without permission. One of those protocols was called indexed finance. Unlike a traditional cryptocurrency exchange, indexed finance wasn't built for trading individual tokens. Instead, it created crypto index funds. Think of it like an ETF, but for decentralized finance. To understand what happened next, we need one of DeFi's most powerful inventions: flash loans. A flash loan lets someone borrow an enormous amount of cryptocurrency with no collateral, on one condition. Everything has to happen within a single transaction. Borrow, use, repay. If anything fails, the blockchain simply rewinds the entire transaction as though it never happened. It's all or nothing. That meant someone could temporarily control hundreds of millions of dollars without actually owning any of it. And that's exactly what happened on October 14th, 2021, when someone used roughly $157 million in flash loans to interact with indexed finance in a way no ordinary investor ever would. Within minutes, millions of dollars had vanished from two of Indexed Finance's largest index pools, DeFi 5 and CC10. Damage that exceeded $16 million. No one had broken into the protocol. Its own rules had simply been used against it. And while developers scrambled to understand what happened, the attacker had already disappeared, or so they thought. Because unlike most crypto exploits, this investigation wouldn't begin on the blockchain. It would begin with a Discord conversation. Most crypto investigations begin after the hack. This one actually began weeks before it. Nearly a month before Index Finance lost $16 million, someone quietly joined the project's Discord server under the username Upsilon, asking about re-indexing, pool weights, Oracle calculations, internal mechanics, claiming to be building an arbitrage bot. Indexed Finance was open source, and its developers believed in transparency, so they answered for nearly a month. Investigators would later believe those conversations weren't innocent curiosity at all, but reconnaissance. 2 days before the exploit, the conversation suddenly stopped. 2 days later, $16 million disappeared. At first, there was no suspect, only a wallet, funded through Tornado Cash shortly before the attack. Normally, that would have been the end of the trail. Tornado Cash was designed specifically to break the link between sender and receiver. But the attacker made one mistake, then another, each seemingly insignificant on its own, together revealing an identity. The Discord user Upsilon deleted parts of the conversation, then changed their username to Bogholder. Investigators kept following every breadcrumb they could find. A wallet connected to Tornado Cash had previously received prize money from an online programming competition, rewarded to that same username, Upsilon. That competition account had been created using a GitHub profile, mTheoryLord1. This one wasn't anonymous. It was connected to an email address, one investigators say belonged to Andian Medjedovic. For the first time, the investigation had a real name. A simple Google search uncovered a personal website, nontrivial.xyz. Its hosting server revealed another site, urbitstar.xyz, which pointed toward an online identity inside the Urbit network. Again, Bogholder. Then came the most remarkable confirmation of all. Months before the exploit, Indexed Finance had actually hired Upsilon for development work, paying them to a wallet address known internally as the 0xb7e address. Only two people knew that address, Indexed Finance and Upsilon. After the exploit, one of the Indexed founders offered a $50,000 reward for the return of the funds. The reply asked for the reward to be sent to that exact same 0xb7e wallet. No one else should have known it, and still the clues kept coming. An old Wikipedia account, where someone using the username mTheoryLord had once edited a Canadian quiz show page to add a notable alumnus, Andian Medjedovic, right beneath former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. After the Indexed Finance exploit, there was little disagreement about what had happened. Millions of dollars were gone. Investors had suffered enormous losses. But there was one question that proved far more difficult to answer. Was it actually illegal? Decentralized finance has always lived by a philosophy that dates back to the earliest days of blockchain. Code is law. What happens when the code allows something its creators never intended? Imagine a player who discovers a flaw in a casino's rules that guarantees a profit. They aren't cheating. They're playing within the published rules. Whose mistake is that? It's a debate that has divided the crypto industry for years. Andian Medjedovic never claimed someone else carried out the attack. His position was remarkably straightforward. The protocol behaved exactly as it was programmed. He simply interacted with it. Canadian civil proceedings quickly followed. Indexed Finance sought emergency court orders to freeze the stolen assets before they could be moved. Court documents alleged the exploit was never legitimate trading, but a deliberate scheme designed to manipulate the protocol's internal accounting. Before those arguments could fully play out, Andian Medjedovic disappeared. He failed to appear in court. Authorities issued a bench warrant. The suspect behind one of DeFi's most sophisticated exploits had become a fugitive. And then, for nearly 2 years, almost nothing happened. The stolen cryptocurrency barely moved. Andean had vanished along with $16 million. But in November 2023, for more than 2 years, the crypto industry heard almost nothing about Andean. But on November 22, 2023, everything changed. This time the victim was KyberSwap, one of decentralized finance's largest decentralized exchanges. The sequence unfolded in seconds. Borrow enormous capital, manipulate the pool into a vulnerable state, extract inflated value, repay the flash loan, keep the difference. No keys stolen, no validators compromised, only mathematics. By the time the exploit was over, approximately $56 million had been affected. Andean Medjedovic controlled roughly $48 million of those losses. The remaining funds were quickly taken by opportunistic copycat attackers, who rushed to exploit the same vulnerability before it was patched. Incredibly, some of those copycats later negotiated with KyberSwap, returning portions of the stolen funds. But the primary exploiter didn't. Instead, he sent an on-chain message that stunned the entire industry. Negotiations will start in a few hours when I am fully rested. KyberSwap offered what many protocols now offer after major exploits: a white hat bounty, return the funds, keep 10%, walk away. The offer was rejected. Instead, the attacker demanded something almost unprecedented: not money, control. He demanded ownership of the KyberSwap protocol, full governance over its decentralized autonomous organization, and complete executive authority. Only then would he consider returning half of the stolen funds. At first glance, the two attacks looked completely unrelated. Different protocols, different code bases, different vulnerabilities, different victims. But investigators started following the money. 24 hours after the KyberSwap exploit, wallets connected to the 2021 indexed finance exploit started receiving funds linked to the 2023 KyberSwap exploit. For blockchain investigators, this was a breakthrough, proof that both attacks belonged to the same operator. By the time the Department of Justice unsealed its indictment in February 2025, both exploits appeared together in the same criminal case, not as separate investigations, but as chapters of one story. The U.S. Department of Justice would later describe both incidents in remarkably similar language, arguing that Andean used manipulative trading strategies to force the protocols into calculating false internal values, not software exploitation, mathematical manipulation. But one question remained unanswered: where did all of the money actually go? Because stealing cryptocurrency is only half the challenge. Keeping it is something else entirely. With Andean identified as the suspected attacker, the next question became obvious: what happened to the millions of dollars? 7 months after the exploit, Andean moved just $400,000 to a cryptocurrency exchange, a small fraction of the total. The rest stayed untouched. Then, in 2022, irony struck. A flaw in a wallet generation tool called Profanity let attackers regenerate private keys for wallets built with it, and one of Andean's own wallets had been made with it. Roughly $1.3 million of his own stolen funds were stolen from him. One hacker had become the victim of another. The rest barely moved, until November 22, 2023, when KyberSwap was exploited, and just 1 day later, those proceeds began merging with the indexed finance funds. 2 exploits, 1 wallet cluster, 1 operator. We weren't tracing $16 million anymore. We were following nearly $65 million. Before laundering the funds, Andean needed to consolidate them, bridging assets across multiple chains onto Ethereum, then swapping them primarily into ETH and DAI. His primary laundering tool was Tornado Cash, a decentralized mixer that breaks the on-chain link between where funds come from and where they end up. The laundering unfolded in 3 waves, roughly $15.7 million in late 2023, another $6.5 million in August 2024. The same month, Andean was arrested in Belgrade, Serbia, though he wasn't extradited, and a third wave of over $24 million beginning April 29, 2026, after nearly 2 years of silence. As of the time this video was produced, wallets attributed to Andean Medjedovic still controlled more than $9 million worth of Ethereum that has not yet been laundered. In total, our investigation identified more than $46 million deposited into Tornado Cash between 2023 and 2026, measured at the value those assets held the moment they entered the mixer. But even after years of investigations, international arrest warrants, and multiple laundering operations, millions of dollars remain visible on-chain, which raises one final question. If the money can still be seen, why hasn't Andian Medjedovic been brought to justice? Today, Andian Medjedovic remains one of the most controversial figures in decentralized finance. To prosecutors, he's an international fugitive accused of stealing approximately $65 million. To the victims, he's responsible for devastating financial losses that affected thousands of users. Modern protocols now spend far more time modeling edge cases and rewarding researchers who find vulnerabilities before criminals do. The lessons were expensive, but they were learned. For Andian Medjedovic, the story is far from over. He remains wanted by U.S. authorities, named in criminal indictments with civil litigation still ongoing, and investigators still watching the wallets, waiting to see where they move next. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that nothing was hidden. Every transaction, every swap, every bridge, every laundering attempt was permanently recorded on the blockchain. Unlike traditional financial crime, whether Andian Medjedovic is eventually arrested or whether the remaining funds are ever recovered is a question only time can answer. This is Chain CSI, investigating the crimes hidden on-chain. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe and join us for the next case, because the next clue is already on the blockchain.